Okay, so I'm back for part two. And the additional theory that I chose was social learning. I do like this theory, and I think it's relevant for this time frame for my interviewee's life. This theory is through Albert Bandura, and it's really the idea that the individual is the driving force in their ability to learn and progress. And how social learning happens is really through the interactions between classmates, friends, family, community, both positive and negative. The environment in which the young person is living in, how that they are viewing this environment and are they learning from it. What's important also is at this time, through social learning, you're starting to realize that your decisions have consequences and you will decide to do something or not do something based on that decision. You are learning from others, whether that is your peer or your parents or formalized and unformalized mentors within your various systems. And ultimately, through social learning, you're starting to build your self-efficacy. I chose to discuss for the limitations Erikson's theory. I found with my dad that his identity was starting to form in stage 4 when Erikson is identifying that identity is really starting to develop in stage 5. Also, I found some hardships with the memory of my interviewee trying to remember certain things and if what the impact was and what he was learning and how he was developing at that time. Also, there's a variety of expectations within this stage. There's expectations from the school system, there's expectations within the family environment, society's view. So I found that kind of to be limiting in this stage. Also, it really doesn't address the effects of parenting and how that, whether they're really active in teaching and helping them identifying skills, are they giving them, is there discussion around what failure looks like and how that's inhibiting? And also, there's so many different views on where a young person should be within this stage. Views, as I said before, the educational system, also the self-view. Where do you think you should be at? Is it just really about having fun and not identifying that you should be learning these skills and being successful and productive? So those were some of the kind of limitations that I experienced through this process. But overall, I support Erikson's theory, and I think it has extremely valid points, and the limitations are adjustable with utilizing other theories. So ultimately, here is my references. I really found Roger's text to be extremely helpful in identifying and explaining the theories or the stages, as well as helping me identify what a crisis is at this point. Also, the annotated bibliography, I found how important to understand the relationships within the family and how that it starts out at one point and then decreases over time. I also really appreciated learning about the social responsibility and how that forms within an adolescence and what is responsible for helping that develop. Also, parenting styles, what a parent is thinking while their child is going through various stages, and that parents also feel a decline, and because there's so many factors such as peers, such as have they ever had to handle these types of situations. And then finally, as my father's identity was starting to be built in this stage based on circumstances and the way he grew up, that his identity was being created, and he was starting to figure out what his meaning is in life and how important relationships and people are to him. That has formed who he is. So overall, thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope it was helpful. And thanks again.